Greetings, brethren. It is I, the donkey, once again back with a beer. And as you can see, it is German Beer Week. So what are we going to do during this German Beer Week? Well, I'm going to introduce you to beers that aren't lagers or pilsners, that are very sort of popular in Germany. Because as I said in one of my previous episodes, there are actually a lot of different types of German beer. People usually consider Pilsner to be that German beer, the German beer, but that's not actually the case. Now, Pilsner is unquestioningly the most popular beer in Germany, bar none. You can get it everywhere. Pretty much every brewery has a Pilsner. Originally, Pilsner, of course, comes from what is now the Czech Republic. At the time, that was still a part of Germany. So, yeah. And today we are going to start with Schoenberger Landbier. Now, this brewery, which has been going since 1835, is from the region in Germany called the Odenwald, which is a small mountain range sort of between Hessen and Bavaria. And the town that this comes from, or the town is called Großbiberau, which means, I don't know, great beavering, I suppose. And that's also why, I don't know if you can see this, but they have a really adorable little heraldry beaver, which I think is awesome, as their little town heraldry. And so this is a Landbier. Now, Landbier, much like Kellerbier, so Landbier would be a country beer, and Kellerbier would be a cellar beer. They don't really constitute any protected types of beers, which means, so for a Pilsner, for example, that is a protected type of beer. So would a Zwickel be, a Bock, Doppelbock, Schwarzbier, all of those, and Weissbier, Weizen, etc., etc. All of those are protected types of beer. You can't just call your beer that. It has to be very specifically that type of beer. A Landbier can kind of be any type of beer, but generally it refers to a beer that is made with great care, very regional, so they pick all sorts of regional ingredients, and they don't, get stuff from far away. It's usually also made organically, and yeah, above all others, it's supposed to really signify the region that it comes from. Whereas other beers that may be brewed regionally might still be sort of popularized and made to appeal to all sorts of tastes. This is specifically a very local beer, right? And has all these other characteristics too. Now, I've not actually had Schoenberger Landbier, so I'm not actually sure what type of beer it is. It doesn't really say. So this could be a Pilsner. This could also be a Zwickel, which is the two most likely ones. It could be a Bock, but I doubt it. I really doubt it. It's 5.3%, so that kind of makes me think Zwickel, but it could still be a Pilsner. We'll see as we open it up. Okay, it does smell quite hoppy and yeasty. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm just gonna have to pour it. Oh yeah, this is. We're definitely dealing not with a Pilsner. As you can see, the color is quite. Oh, can you even see that? I can't really see that that well. The color is quite dark. I'll display it in just a second after I'm done pouring. Ba-ba-bum. So yeah, as you can see. Ta-da! It's quite the dark color. I'm still trying to figure out the lighting so I can show off the color of the beer better. But this is it's very much brown. See, it even has that sort of a reddish glow. Oh, that light in the background works great to show the color. All right, so we have a much more of a brownish beer, not the golden color of the Pilsner. Okay, yeah, I think we're dealing with a Bock. Also, very very little fizz, which yeah, that's just kind of normal. The very commercialized Pilsner beers and those types of beers, they have a lot more added carburation, and these beers are left a lot more natural. So the fizz is a lot lower, as you can see. The bubbles have already stopped. I don't know if you can really see that well. But yeah, we're much more working in these sort of confines of what you would expect from, say, an ale, except that it is still brewed after the German purity law, so there's no fish bladder or any such nonsense in there. So cheers, let's have a go. Oh, this is amazing. Oh, that's really good. It's very nice. I can't really pinpoint it exactly. I think, I don't know, it's not quite harsh enough for a bock. Bock beer usually is a lot more aggressive in the flavor, and sticks with you a lot more. This is a lot more, yeah, it's a lot more ale-ish actually. Like it's very ale-like. I like it a lot though. It's quite savory, but it's not too bitter. It even has some sweet character to it. It's really nice, and it's so easy to drink as well. There's none of that acrid or just acidy sting in the back of your throat. It's lovely. 5.3%. You really do not taste that. This feels a lot lighter than that. It almost has the characteristics of like a Märzen or a it feels like a combination of a Zwickel, Märzen, and ale, which is just weird. What a weird combination, but it's really nice. So yeah, I'm gonna have to do some research on this one, which sucks. I should have done that before, but yeah, it's really nice. I like it a lot. I'm definitely gonna have this more often. This is whew, this is up there. I wouldn't call it one of my top 10. Nah, not even top 20, but it's very good. It's so nice, and it's also from the head immediately disappearing. I thought that it would be a lot staler, a lot quicker, but that is not at all the case. Also, now that I'm drinking more of it, the bitterness does linger a bit more. So, not a drinking beer. I would definitely classify this as a end of the day beer. Sort of one of those that where I said you want to have one of them. I still need a better name for that, like uh, a savoring beer. I don't know. I'll figure out a better term to call that. But yeah, it's not a drinking beer. I don't think I would have a ton of these. I think that it's a lot nicer when you just have one and you just enjoy it. It's very nice. Man, very nice. I'm actually upset that I've not had this before because, as I said, it is rather local. I mean, Odenwald is a little bit away, that mountain range, but it's very much in driving distance, which in American terms, it's even more in driving distance, I suppose. It's yeah. So yeah, wow, fantastic! What a beer. I should probably also talk a bit more about the difference between like, protected and non-protected. So a non-protected, like Landbier or Kellerbier, they usually refer to certain beers, which is why I thought this was going to be a Zwickel or a Bock, and I think it goes closer to a Bock. But you don't have to be entirely on those marks. Those protected kinds of beer, they have very specific signifiers that must be present in the beer, that must be present in the production of the beer. So when you have a special recipe that has been handed down for how many ever generations, that is just different and doesn't really work in those classifications, it's easier to just call it a country beer, because then you don't have to, you don't have to go through all these weird legal battles to be able to name your beer a specific type, and you just go with country beer, and, that's fine. And in this case, I should have tried this a lot sooner, because it's so very nice. It's just so, like, German beers are usually not very sweet. Some of the heavier ones, like Schwarzbier, they can be a little sweet sometimes, but this has a real sweet note, and it's not sweet in the way that the Leffe that I had a couple of days ago was sweet. That was really sugary, in a sort of an unpleasant way, where it's you can tell that there's some kind of sugar in it, where in this case, it just kind of brings out sort of natural sweetness of the ingredients, which is still barley in this case. So it's not even a wheat beer or anything, but it still has a really interesting sweetness, which is just, it's delightful. I like it so much. Well, what am I going to give this? I don't like it as much as Rothaus Tannenzäpfle, so it's only going to get a 7.5 out of 10. Yeah, I do think this is a great beer, and obviously if you do not live in Germany, you are probably never going to get this, because it is just such a local beer. Even if you're in really far away parts of Germany, somewhere in the north, you're probably never going to get your hands on this. But if you can get your hands on this, do so. Like, this is really good. If you're ever in the region, if you're ever in the Odenwald region of Germany, or just generally in southern Hessen, definitely a beer to try, because it's so nice, so lovely. Alright, thank you very much for watching me drink beer, as always, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I wish you a lovely evening, and I hope you will come back for another day and another beer. And I say cheers.